Mitt Romney is launching a bus tour of 6 states in 5 days. Romney will start this Friday in New Hampshire, one of Romney's many home states, where President Obama currently has a sizable lead on Mitt Romney, 51% to 42%, according to the latest WMUR Granite State poll. On Saturday, the Romney bus will head southwest to Pennsylvania, where a recent Franklin and Marshall poll shows President Obama with an even bigger lead over Romney, 48% to 36%. On Sunday, the bus will travel to Ohio, where our own NBC News Marist poll shows President Obama with a 6-point lead over Romney, 48 to 42. On Monday, the Romney bus tour will stop in Iowa, where the latest NBC News Marist poll shows the president and Romney in a tie, 44 to 44. Also on Monday, the bus will also go through Wisconsin, where the recent Marquette poll shows President Obama with 51% to Mitt Romney's 43%, and the bus tour will end next Tuesday in Michigan, where the most recent poll by Epic MRA shows them in a statistical tie, with Romney at 46% and President Obama at 45%. Today, the Obama campaign kicked off its Road to Recovery tour, what it's calling the Road to Recovery tour, highlighting the impact of the auto rescue on businesses and communities across Michigan. It comes as the Obama campaign and the Romney campaign are each trying to capitalize on comments their opponents made last week about the economy. President Obama said this Friday while taking questions in the White House briefing room.
We've created 4.3 million jobs over the last 27 months. Over 800,000 just this year alone. The private sector is doing fine. Where we're seeing weaknesses in our economy have to do with state and local government. And so, if Republicans want to be helpful, if they really want to move forward and put people back to work, what they should be thinking about is how do we help state and local governments, and how do we help the construction industry, because the recipes that they're promoting are basically the kinds of policies that would add weakness to the economy, would result in further layoffs.
Perfectly reasonable. And shortly afterward, Mitt Romney said this while campaigning in Iowa.
He wants another stimulus. He wants to hire more government workers. He says we need more firemen, more policemen, more teachers. Did he not get the message of Wisconsin? The American people did. It's time for us to cut back on government and help the American people.
Joining me now are Crystal Ball, a Democratic strategist and MSNBC political analyst, and Steve Kornacki, a political columnist for Salon and an MSNBC contributor. Crystal, the Romney bus tour is going to states where in almost all of them, President Obama has a significant lead, and it must be the Romney calculation that they better get to those states now before they lose any possibility of getting them.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I have to say, Lawrence, I'm pretty excited about the Romney bus tour. I'm excited about him.
Yeah, I can understand that. Who isn't?
Exactly. I mean, I'm excited for him to...
The bus doesn't even need a name. It's so exciting. Yes. It doesn't even need a name.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping he can take his message of, laying off teachers and firefighters to these small towns and maybe have even an opportunity to insult some more small business owners on the quality of their cookies. So it should be a good time for everyone. But I think you're absolutely right. I mean, when you look at the national polls, things are a bit tighter. And when you look at these swing states, the president clearly has an electoral map advantage, and that has to be making Romney very nervous. He also has to be thinking that his best opportunity to pull these states into his column is in the industrial Midwest, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, the states that he's going to, where, frankly, white blue-collar voters have always been lukewarm at best on the president. So I think that's where he sees his opportunity. The flip side of that, in the purple poll that we talked about some last week, that highlights the fact that Mitt Romney's time at Bain is a significant vulnerability, particularly in Ohio and Pennsylvania. People are very mistrustful of his time there and see him as having hurt the economy and hurt workers through his work at Bain. So that is a vulnerability that he's going to have to deal with as well.
Steve Kornacki, the one state there where Mitt Romney seems to be running best is Michigan, where he's in a tie with President Obama. That's also the only state that has an unemployment rate higher than the national average. It's just 1/10 of a percentage point higher than the national average. And the Obama campaign seems to recognize the possibilities of problems in Michigan. That's why they're going there, too.
Yeah, well, and they're going to be very careful. But, Michigan's one of those states, if you look at that list, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, those really are sort of reach states for Mitt Romney. I think when you get to the end of the day, whatever these polls say right now, when you get to November, if we're looking at Mitt Romney winning or being very close to winning any of those three states, I think it also indicates that the national race is probably going to be pretty clearly going in his favor. I mean, I'm a little skeptical when we start talking about, the individual swing states at this point in the campaign, because there's some political science research on this that actually found, we can talk about, well, the unemployment rate's a lot lower in this state, it's a lot higher in this state, so the incumbent should have the advantage in the state where it's lower. Actually, the effect on presidential approval ratings of state-level unemployment data, it's about 1/5 of the effect that national data has. So basically, even in these states where the unemployment is very low, like Iowa, where you show that poll that has the race dead even right now, well, Iowa has one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country, and yet Mitt Romney's doing very well there. John McCain lost it by 10 points to Obama in 2008. Romney's erased that lead, even though it has one of the healthiest economies in the country. So again, I think there's no escaping at the end of the day. The national economy is going to be what drives all of these states.
Crystal, when Romney turns on the TV in the bus in Pennsylvania and Ohio, he's going to be greeted by an ad that the super PAC supporting President Obama is running there. Let's take a look at that.
Romney and Bain Capital shut this place down. They shut down entire livelihoods. They promised us a health care package. They promised us maintain our retirement program. And those are the first two things that disappeared. This was a booming place. And Mitt Romney and Bain Capital turned it into a junkyard, just making money and leaving. They don't live in this neighborhood. They don't live in this part of the world.
Priorities USA Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Crystal, is there anything Mitt Romney can say when he gets out of the bus in Pennsylvania, where he's also already trailing badly, to try to counteract that ad running in Pennsylvania?
Well, there is something that he could say, but I don't think he's going to say it. I mean, if he had a policy that would actually help the middle class, rather than supporting the Ryan budget, rather than supporting undercutting Social Security and Medicare, financing more tax cuts for the wealthy, if he was willing to move away from that message, it might have an appeal. Something tells me that he's not going to be able to do that. But I also look at that ad, and I think it really highlights the Obama campaign's state-by-state regional approach. That is a message that's going to work very well in Ohio and Pennsylvania. And I actually lived on the border for a while of Ohio and Pennsylvania in a town that looked very much like the town that they highlight in that ad. People there know this story already, and this serves as a reminder to them of the career path that Mitt Romney chose and the fact that he did cause a lot of devastation to companies and to employment in certain places across the country.
Steve Kornacki, if a pundit could live in one place in America, it would be on the border of Ohio and Pennsylvania. Crystal's cheating, having done that. It's like you're supposed to stay in New York in the studio and not get out there like that.
I'm a native Virginian, too, so I got it all covered.
As a Massachusetts native who now lives in New York City, let me give you my perspective on what's working in America.
Yes, sir. That's what I want to hear from. Someone who knows what the people are thinking. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I actually, I think what's interesting here, though, is the basic message that Romney is bringing to these states really, as Crystal says, it really isn't a message in sort of the traditional sense of a campaign where he's not looking at them and saying, hey, you're suffering right now, and here's the 20-point plan that I've laid out that's going to fix this. It's really not the calculation that his campaign has made in this election. The calculation that they've made is basically, here's your pain and here's your suffering, and I am now going to try to give you, I'm going to throw a bunch of sort of rationalizations out there to get you to blame this on Obama and to vote against him, to look only at how the economy is doing right now, not to look at what he inherited, not to look at Republican obstruction, not really to look at anything I'm saying or anything my party's doing in Congress, just to make you look at where the economy is, to feel all the anxiety that's going to build within you, and to just take it out on Obama. And if the message is incoherent, if it's self-contradictory, they're willing to take that chance because they feel at the end of the day, no matter what else they say, their calculation is this will be a referendum on Obama.
I have been registered to vote in exactly 3 states, Massachusetts, New York, and California, in that order. Not one of them has ever been a swing state. I don't think I've ever met a swing voter. So, Crystal Ball, you're our authority from now on the swing voters.
Excellent.
Crystal Ball and Steve Kornacki, thank you both very much for joining me tonight.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Coming up, it's now Bush versus Grover Norquist. Norquist attacked Jeb Bush for suggesting that Ronald Reagan wouldn't be welcome in today's Republican Party. And in the rewrite tonight, the crazy pastor in Florida who wanted to burn the Koran has now hung President Obama in effigy. But another Southern pastor defends President Obama's position on marriage equality. And later, you already know how to get to Carnegie Hall, right? Practice, practice, practice. Tonight, right here in our Los Angeles studio, we have the men who can tell you how to win an Oscar. And we'll learn why the people who could never have won their Oscars without their help have never, ever thanked them in their acceptance speeches. That's coming up.